Now, in our previous discussion, we looked at exploring the Spanish borderlands. Now we're going to be talking about actually settling the Spanish borderlands. So, what's going to happen is you're going to have the conquistadors. And the conquistadors are going to explore these new territories that are now going to be claimed areas by Spain. So, as I said, the conquistadors So let's take a look, starting in 1600. The Spanish are going to expand or extend west from Florida all the way across present-day Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Now, it's at this time that European nations are also going to start showing an interest in settling this new territory. And once these Europeans start to show interest, all of a sudden Spain's going to say, wait a second, we need to kind of defend these newly settled territories of ours because they're claiming them as theirs. And so what they're going to do is they're going to send out small bands of soldiers, not like marching bands, but like small groups of soldiers to protect these areas. And what they're going to do is these soldiers are going to live in these small forts, and the forts are called presidios, and it's going to be an actual walled-off fortress. Now, as these soldiers are going out to protect these lands, the soldiers are going to bring a group of religious individuals called missionaries. They're going to accompany the soldiers to these borderlands. Now, a missionary is a religious person, like a priest, but these are people who are going to try to persuade. They go out for the sole purpose of persuading a native population to convert to Christianity. Now, missionaries are going to build settlements that are called missions. Now, in these missions, the missionaries are going to teach the native people, so the Native Americans, a variety of skills. And they preached the Christian faith as well. Now, in these missions, the missionaries are going to grow their own food. They are going to basically provide for everything that the inhabitants will need because they are so far from any trading post or any sort of town. Now, what's interesting here is that the Pueblo Indians of New Mexico, they're actually going to welcome the missionaries and all of these new Spanish explorers, and they're going to welcome them into their community with open arms. And the Spanish are going to, very similar to Cortez, in how the Aztecs welcomed them in and said, you know, welcome to our area. And so in the traditional Spanish way of the time, they repaid the Pueblo Indian generosity and kindness with absolute cruelty. So the Native Americans were made to work for the settlers as slaves. The Catholic priests would order the whipping of Pueblo Indians who continued to practice their traditional religious rituals. And the treatment of the Pueblo Indians was so horrific that it actually led to a revolt by the Pueblo Indians. They finally said, we've had enough, we're not putting up with it any longer, and they drove out the Spanish. Okay, so now the Spanish are out, but not for long. From the 1600s to the 1700s, the settlement of Spanish Borderlands is going to proceed, but it's going to proceed slowly. Eventually, the language, the religion, and the culture of Spain will spread across much of the American Southwest.